Hey, okay, hopefully the sound is good. You guys can hear me?
Thank you. Madam Forlady, if you'll stand for me. Have you reached a verdict?
Yes, sir, we have.
Is it unanimous?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right, if you will pass it up to the clerk, who will pass it to me. And you may be seated. The defendant will rise. Madam Clerk, you may publish the verdict starting with the back, not with the, let's see, I'll tell you again. Starting with the back, flipping them over one by one. State of South Carolina versus.
Docket number 2022 GS 15-00592, the State of South Carolina, County of Colleton, in the Court of General Sessions in the term of 2022, July, the State versus Richard Alexander Murdaugh, defendant, indictment for murder, SC Code 16-3-0010, CDR Code 0116. Guilty verdict, signed by the forelady, 3/2/23. Docket number 2022-GS-15-00593, the State of South Carolina, County of Colleton, in the Court of General Sessions, the July term of 2022. The State versus Richard Alexander Murdaugh, defendant, indictment for murder, SC Code 16-3-0010, CDR Code 0116, verdict guilty, signed by the forelady, date 3/2/23. Docket number 2022-GS-15-00595, the State of South Carolina, County of Colleton, Court of General Sessions, July term 2022. The State versus Richard Alexander Murdaugh, defendant, indictment for possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime, SC Code -16-23-0490, CDR Code 0549, verdict guilty, signed by the foreperson of the jury, date 3/2/23. Docket number 2022 GS-15-00594, the State of South Carolina, County of Colleton, Court of General Sessions, July term 2022. The State versus Richard Alexander Murdaugh, defendant, indictment for possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime, SC Code 16-23-0490, CDR Code 0549, verdict guilty, signed by the foreperson of the jury, 3/2/23.
Thank you. Madam Forelady and members of the jury, if that is the verdict of each and every juror, please let it be known by raising your right hands. All right, thank you. Any individual polling requested? All right, Madam Clerk, you'll need to individually poll the jury according to their juror numbers.
Number 1 593. Was this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Juror 254.
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Juror 326. Was this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Juror 530. Was this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror 544.
Yes.
Was this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Juror 572. Was this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Juror 578. Was this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Juror 589. Was this your verdict? Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Juror 630. Was this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Juror 729. Was this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Juror 826. Was this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Juror 864. Was this your verdict?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Your Honor, the jury has been polled.
Thank you. The jury has been polled and the verdict is a unanimous verdict. If you will bring the alternate juror out and have her have a seat in the audience, please. You can stand there or you can sit back there, whatever you prefer. Okay. Are there any post-trial motions?
From the state, Your Honor.
We would just renew our previously argued motions for directed verdict, and at this, on the grounds, on those grounds, we would make a motion for a mistrial to set aside the verdict.
By the state, response.
Your Honor, based on our previous arguments, we would submit that the case properly went to the jury and the verdict is proper and would rely on those arguments.
We've been here now 28 days, first few days of jury selection and the remainder receiving testimony, an overwhelming amount of testimony and evidence that was presented to the jury for the jury's consideration. As I indicated to the jury during the jury charge, or the charge on the law, that this was a matter solely for the jury to determine. The court found at the end of the state's case that there's sufficient evidence to find the defendant guilty if the evidence was believed by the jury. Likewise, at the end of the defense's case, when the motion was renewed, the court found that the evidence was sufficient for the jury to find the defendant guilty. The jury has now considered the evidence for a significant period of time, and the evidence of guilt is overwhelming, and I deny the motion. Mr. Murdaugh, you now having been found guilty of 2 counts of murder involving your wife and your son, 2 counts of possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime, the burden now comes upon the court to impose a sentence. Given the lateness of the hour and the victim's rights that must be taken into consideration and complied with under the Victim's Bill of Rights, and consider what I would anticipate to be a number of people who might have something to say regarding sentencing. We will defer sentencing to a later date. Of course, the minimum sentence for murder is 30 years. The maximum sentence is life imprisonment as to each count. And on the weapons charge, the sentence is up to 5 years or 5 years, which has to be concurrent if a life sentence is imposed. When would you all like to reconvene for sentencing? I would like to give everyone an adequate opportunity to prepare for it.
State will be ready at 9:30 in the morning, Your Honor.
We could do it at 9:30 tomorrow morning also.
All right, the defendant is remanded to the custody of the Colleton County Sheriff's Department. And he may be taken away.
Sentencing.
Madam Foley and members of the jury, I want to thank you on behalf of the citizens of the state of South Carolina and your fellow citizens of Colleton County. You did not volunteer for this service. You were called upon by being summoned to appear, and Providence have brought you to this moment in time and these weeks in time. I know that all of you have been here at great sacrifice, particularly the juror whose job was on the line until a miracle happened, I guess, that allowed him to be able to leave rather than leave after 2 or 3 weeks. But I want to thank each one of you all individually and collectively. It's not often that you're called upon to sit in judgment of the actions of your fellow man, but you all responded and gave due consideration to the evidence. I will make no comment now as to the extent or the overwhelming nature of the evidence, but certainly the verdict that you've reached is supported by the evidence, circumstantial evidence, direct evidence, all of the evidence pointing to only one conclusion. That's the conclusion that you all reached. So I applaud you all for, as a group and as a unit and individually, evaluating the evidence and coming to a proper conclusion as you saw the law, as you saw the facts. Now that you've served for the next year, you're not eligible to serve again. Now, of course, many people never get called upon, but you're not eligible for the next year. And for 2 additional years, you can be exempted from service because no person is required to serve on jury duty in this court more often than once every 3 years. Tomorrow morning at 9:30, we will reconvene for sentencing. You all have no role in that because that's solely up to the judge, to me. You're welcome to come back if you want to and be a part of the audience if you like. I also want to thank the alternate juror who was locked away in a room by herself for these hours. who's hung in there during that period of time. I want to thank you as well. Madam Clerk, what do you have to tell your jurors?
Thank you for your service and what the judge said as well. And I think we can release them tonight and bring them back in the morning.
No, they're off duty. They're off jury duty. They can come
You can
back
come
if
back
they
you
like,
would
and you don't have to if you don't want to. Typically, I've seen jurors wanting to see the end result of a case once they've invested a lot into it. It's really an amazing thing with juries. Quite often, at the start of the case, jurors are really like, whoa, why am I here? I wish I wasn't selected. But as time passes and the jurors become invested and really committed to the case and committed to seeing it through, and are very disappointed when they are not able to see it to a conclusion. And then along the way of serving, you end up finding out quite a bit about our judicial system and learning quite a bit, well, about human nature for sure, but also about the presentation of evidence and hearing from expert witnesses and really learning a lot of things that you'll be able to take with you when you leave jury duty. And Madam Forelady, I don't know if you were hesitant initially or not, but you have stepped up to the plate and done a great job of leading the jury as well. And thank all of you. So the jury is dismissed. Now, one thing before you go, of course, we have invested a lot in maintaining the privacy of the jury, of each one of you. And you are free at this point to discuss the case with anyone. And given the high profile nature of the case, I'm certain that the many people in the media will probably want to communicate with you, but they have no means of contacting you because under order that I issued, the identity of the jurors must be kept private. And if you decide that you want to speak with anyone, local, state, nationally, or internationally, that's your prerogative. However, should anyone harass you, please let me know and I will address those issues. If anyone through the somehow or another discover your identity and harass you, and rest assured I will intercede on your behalf. That having been said, you are free to communicate with whomever you might want to concerning the case from now on. And so with that, thank you, and you all are free to go.
Judge, if I could have
Yes.
If I could have you go to the jury room, and I'm going to meet you back there for just a few minutes.
All right.
Gather your belongings.
And as is my practice, I'll speak with the foreperson before you leave the building after talking to them back there. Anything else?
It does appear they just cut the audio on us. Oh, you see Harpoolian shaking hands with Crichton Waters over there?
Recess till 9:30 tomorrow morning.
And we will see you then, Judge Newman. There goes the feed. Look at that. It's just dying out. You see how they cut the feed in the
It
court?
is.
That? Look at that. They were like, we're
It's
out of
just-
here.
It's just spinning.
It's not me or my potato because I'm not
No.
potato. Can you guys hear me okay? I had to switch my mic because I was on all day. Hopefully you can hear me okay in the chat. Welcome, Tony. Kim, welcome. I mean, that was quick. Hey, Tony.
Oh,
Wow, was that fast? You know what?
I was not expecting that
I
at
really
all.
did not expect guilty that fast. I know
No.
guilty verdicts that when you're very confident it's guilty, you do come back pretty fast. I realize that.
Right.
Some juries don't want to mess around. They want to get it over with. They don't want to think about it. If he's guilty, fine, they're done with him, right? But man, oh man, wow. Like,
Yeah. I'm sweaty palms, still
Yeah.
a little nauseous feeling, and just mind blown.
but it's been
I'm
a
just
long
kind of
time.
shocky.
Mhm. It's been a really long time.
It has been a long time.
Since I last talked to everybody in the chat, I spent the time going back to my last stream with Ranty when we were waiting on the verdict and everything, and remembering what that felt like and being stunned at the verdict on that
Yeah.
one also,
I
because I was
know.
trying, as biased as I was trying to be so unbiased and getting myself ready for it to go the other way, but
Well,
it just didn't. Like, it's
and
amazing.
that's how I've been preparing myself,
Mhm.
is for either a hung jury or a not guilty verdict. I knew as much as I was invested in this, I had to prepare for that.
Yeah.
So that's actually what I have been preparing for this entire time.
Wow. So, Tony, you wanted to come up. What did you have to say?
I was thinking that, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Can you hear us okay?
Excellent.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, he changed his story on the stand.
He sure did.
If you
Mhm.
change your story on the stand after you've heard some of the evidence, it's like, oh, well, it's different because whatever reason.
Mhm.
The jurors are going to think, why is the story he's telling now not the one he told then?
Exactly. And
What was he hiding then?
Mhm.
And
Right.
why doesn't his excuse add up?
And I think that's what we saw with his defense team afterwards, because not only did he change the one story, I can understand changing the kennel story, because that was a piece of evidence that was so damning. But when he went further than that on the stand and changed all kinds of timeline things that he had already spoke on repeatedly for a year
The
and a half,
911 call.
the 911 call,
Right.
before and after, and then not being able to remember once he was actually put at the scene of the crime, at the murder scene, he's refusing to acknowledge conversations that happened between him, Paul, and Maggie at that time. That
Exactly.
was a screaming thing to me, and apparently to the
Yeah.
jury.
It was.
Actually, I don't know about you guys, but when Crichton Waters mentioned reasonableness, common sense, plausibility, not like without a doubt, not this or the other thing, but just kind of be human, use your heads. What does it look like here to you? And just see if the evidence matches it. That made more sense to me than anything else that they said.
Exactly.
When he said that, I was like, exactly. If they can get there, it's guilty. But I really had my doubts that they would.
I did too.
Yeah.
I truly had doubts.
I thought maybe hung jury, but I didn't think he'd get a not guilty. Hung jury, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm
But
sorry.
then
Change that. Go ahead. Keep talking. I'll take care of it.
the jury heard the same evidence as us. And just on the evidence, it didn't look good for him from the start, really. Once they started bringing in, oh, well, his car, he said he turned this way, and the data shows his car turned the other way and went past where we found Maggie's phone. He lied about being at the kennels. Why lie about being at the kennels if you didn't know the time of death?
Right.
Why is it important that you weren't there around the time they died, when if you weren't there the time they died, you didn't know the time of death? You didn't know if it was 9 o'clock or 9:45.
Mm-hmm.
All you knew was it happened after you left and when you came back.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I think also some of the key things, if you get into like the bigger picture of it psychologically, who are the people he didn't call? The people that would be most affected by the deaths. Buster.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Who did he not call? Buster.
Exactly. He did not call Buster.
Maggie's parents. Who did he not call? Maggie's
Yeah,
sister.
it's
Right.
that whole thing
Yeah.
of if it's people targeting the Murdaughs, why didn't he say to his Randy, get to mum's? Make
Right.
sure mum
make sure
mum's safe.
fine. Right.
Right.
Because if you're looking at vulnerable people that will hurt you, it's your family. Then Buster, especially, get some help. Now he did mention it to the agents afterwards, but he didn't call Buster. He didn't call it. He didn't tell his brothers to watch him. That wasn't part of the conversation.
No, it wasn't.
Mhm.
Yeah, not until long after.
If he was really scared for
Mhm.
that someone was targeting them, it would have been John Marvin, go get Buster, keep him safe. Randy, get to mum's, make sure she's safe.
This is
Not, oh, come here and make sure that I need a shoulder to cry on.
Absolutely.
He's the big man with the guns round him. He doesn't need protection. He's got the police there. He doesn't need the protection. It's his, if they're targeted, it's his mum and his son.
Exactly. Listen, I have that link pinned. Anybody coming in that has something to say, I can fit 10 up here. I know you all have been here the whole time. This was quite sudden and I'm beyond words right now. Godless Granny or anyone else, Dr. Silverman, I know the timing might not be right for you there. I know you're probably working, but anyone that wants to come up, absolutely. We'll just take turns. Godless Granny, wow.
I'm astounded. I was going to send you a
Godless.
message asking you to notify me when the jury came back with the verdict, so I could.
I was going to, yeah.
I thought, there's no way it's going to be before tomorrow afternoon. I'll just ask Claire tomorrow.
I had no idea. I actually had just put a poll on my community tab saying, hey, what do you guys want to hear about it? Like, do you want to hang out? Do you want to do like I did with the other trial and we just hung out all day while they asked questions and stuff, because live feed trials, they will keep panning into the courtroom because the courtroom is active. The clerk is there. The judge will come in and they'll wait for them to come in, the lawyers, and then the jury will ask the question or whatever, and they'll talk about it, or an issue might come up. So they're there, but they're not like, they're talking right in front of you, but there is a live feed. I was thinking of doing that and maybe a couple hours of the day, all day, maybe not until the verdict. But I had my list. You and Beck, of course, were on the list because you've done so much with me, and so Petty too. Mango, because you guys have been so patient and coming up and helping me keep everyone entertained and going over the information, and such good information in regards to legal terms and some of the things that you are familiar with, Of course I was going to call you. And Kim and I were on Watch Discord call together. We were like, wake our butts up. Like, use the Discord phone because that one will wake us up no matter what.
That's right.
What I was like, I can't go to sleep until 10 tonight because Fit News said, and so did Wiccan and Eldin, a whole bunch of others that I've been watching on Twitter. They actually said, well, they're going to be there till 10. They're allowed to stay there till 10 o'clock tonight. They don't have to leave. And then they started saying, well, there's rumors they're not ordering dinner. And I'm like, well, yeah, maybe they're tired and they want to go home. Like, maybe that's what it is. I think I even put that on Twitter. Well, it could be. It could also be they just want to go home and come back in the morning, and deliberate Friday fresh. But no, then Fitz News, who's very local and very connected.
And on top.
Goes, I just heard the verdict is in. They're asking the family to return to the courtroom right now, and they're going to get Alex. And I was like, oh, no, that's it. Like, if they're going to get Alex, that's it. Because they're not going to bring him in the van if it's not something serious. Yeah.
So what time did they announce the verdict?
They just finished. It was within the hour. At 6:55,
like
they
minutes
said,
ago.
Alex is coming to the court. Call everybody in. And I put the stream to start at 7:30, but I went live like at 7:10 because I saw the judge's head on the feed. I saw his head and I was going nuts. And I was trying to get my mic on. So the beginning of it has no audio because there was mics weren't working. Like, nothing was set up. I was getting ready for 7:30. I figured it would take that long, but it did not. Like, they were quick.
Yeah, I thought it would have been longer too.
thought they might have strung it out tomorrow, but they wanted to go home for the weekend.
Mhm.
It's has the jury been kept in a hotel?
No,
No.
they
No.
have not been sequestered. They've been allowed to go home every day. But here's the thing. Once you get your jury instructions and your charges and you take that first pass around the room and everybody's on the same page, why would you stay?
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
wouldn't.
I
You
wouldn't
wouldn't.
either.
But it's extremely unusual for everyone to be on the same page at the beginning of deliberations.
I think that just means they were
No.
paying more attention than we thought.
I think so too.
hmm I was worried that they weren't like they were getting bored. You know
I
what?
know.
I'm gonna have to give Mater some credit here. He may have sealed the
fast-
deal.
A
Yeah.
fast
Oh.
verdict is almost always a guilty verdict, and the longer it takes you, the more likely you are to have a hung jury.
Right.
Yeah.
I think also, I don't know about you guys, but I think the last couple of days, Hartpulian
And Griffin?
and Jim Griffin actually having a different kind of attitude in the room. You know, I think you could see it on their faces. Ever since Alex took the
Oh
stand,
yeah.
they've had a
I
different
love
attitude.
that song. Who's got phone ringing?
Sorry, it's me. I'm muting.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say it's not me for a change, people. I actually put my things off. Yeah, but yeah, this is they definitely came back quick and were listening. I think they really were. But I think when Alex did what he did on the stand, I think it kind of sealed it for them. I don't think I think those 2 days were the pivot in the whole trial, to tell you the truth. It was shocking for me that he wanted to do it.
I would be really interested in knowing how Buster feels right now.
Buster's face was red and he looked a bit stunned.
And if he thinks about it, he might be a little bit angry as well.
Mm-hmm.
That his dad could do that.
It is, but you know what? If I had a bingo card right now, I would be leaving that box open that says Alex Murdaugh's not done, and this is not the last we've heard of him. Because if you think he's going to
Still got
accept
the financials.
and they're not going to challenge it because they know that certain things that came out during the trial about evidence. Some people believe that the evidence was tampered with. You know, they did make mistakes, but nobody showed anything about tampering or anything like that. Some people are actually out there saying that the law enforcement agents lied. I don't see any evidence, and I think that the defense.
I don't either.
They did,
Yeah,
and
that was going too far.
no, they actually are. They actually are in some of the live chats and stuff like that. I've seen it, especially in the legal channels. They were like,
Yeah.
the law enforcement represented this and that and the other thing. What they're talking about is going all the way back to the indictment. They're actually calling it a lie because they had a presumptive on the blood test of the shirt.
Right.
Okay, they corrected that, and the indictment
did.
stood. The indictment still stood afterwards, and the judge found credible interest to go forward, even with all of this being known. They still had a pretrial hearing.
Right.
Okay, you have a pretrial hearing to go over the evidence you have, and a judge decides whether it's worth a trial. And that was after they got the indictment.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, it was.
I got that right, Kim? Right?
Yes.
This was, and Hartpulian did everything he could to keep the shirt out, and successfully. Prosecution said, you're right. It's damaged. It's not any good anyway because the actual testing is all messed up, and the test doesn't show what they said anyway in the initial report. You're allowed to report it one way, and then when you further test it, things change. And they did appropriately change the reporting as the thing changed. Things happen like that. And yes, it was a big mistake because they got all excited thinking they had all this blood that they nailed him. But they didn't. So then they had to go forward. And now there's people out there saying that that's the only reason they went so hard on him is because they were embarrassed about the shirt. I'm like, dude, wow, how could you even think something like that when he's got 100 other financial crimes? You don't think people are mad about that?
Right.
You don't think you don't think that people actually think he could have done it. And that's the thing. Yeah, maybe SLED did mess up about the shirt, the testing. It's all messed up. They clarified it. And when it comes down to it, that shirt is not in evidence against Alex Murdaugh today, is it? Mm-mm. It didn't taint the jury because
Nope.
they didn't get to know about it, did they, Kim? They don't know about it. Except for when the defense
No.
brought it up and tried to make SLED look like idiots. And gave the prosecution the opportunity to say, but we didn't put it into evidence because we know it didn't have blood. After the presumptive, and they had that big explanation about the process from going to presumptive and then retesting and then trying to do it later, and then to try to prove it, they cut all the pieces up and they put it in solution to see if there was actually blood there at any time, and it came up negative. And so they
Right.
admitted there's no blood on the shirt. Shirt's out of evidence. The shirt does not have blood on it. Period. But that didn't save him because another shirt he was wearing did have evidence of blood on it.
Right.
Well,
At the hem. Yeah.
I just wanted to pop in and say hello, but I need to get going. But thanks for having me.
No, we're going to do sentencing in the morning if you want to pop in. I'm going to be here, but it's
Okay.
up to you.
Oh,
Thank
I'm
you
gonna
for
have to be
popping
here
up,
for that.
though. I'm glad. I'm surprised you're just as shocked as I am, but you're
I
happy with
am.
the
I'm absolutely shocked.
Yeah, but I want to talk to you tomorrow if you think they're going to overturn, if you're around. I really do.
Okay.
Because I
Sounds
think
good.
there might be some issues here, but yeah. Okay, thanks.
Are you sure they're going to do it in the morning? Because I was looking at the New York Times article, and in it, they quoted Judge Newman saying that it says he will wait for a later date to sentence
Nope.
Alex.
That's not true. He said,
Okay.
I will see you guys at
Yeah,
9:30
he
in the
said
morning. He
9:30.
said, we will
Okay.
convene at
Okay,
9:30. And he told the jury that they were free, but they were welcome to come back. Both the state and the defense said they would be ready at 9:30 tomorrow morning. Yep,
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That was live. Yeah. I think that the Post actually put their article out before he was done speaking, which is not
Probably.
uncommon.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
So, Shil, you haven't said anything yet. Can you hear us okay? Okay, mic not working. Something is not clicking there.
Yeah,
Shil.
when I did jury duty, we heard the evidence. We went back to the jury room, and we sort of like we each wrote down whether we thought it was guilty or not guilty, and handed it to their foreman. They counted it all up and went, "Oh well, we've all chosen not guilty." And that was it. There was no need for any deliberation. It was just, right, we're not guilty. And sort of like, should one of us sort of like, or should we just sort of like pretend that we haven't reached a decision just to get another day in jury duty? Because there won't be another case for us, because it was on a Thursday as well. It was sort of like, should we hang it out for tomorrow? And then we all looked at each other and we're like, no, that poor sod sat out there wondering, his life is out there. He doesn't know what we're going to choose. We can't make him, an innocent person sit there, panic any longer. We've got to let him know that he's innocent. And, so it was, as soon as we'd made up our minds, that was it. Knock on the door, call the bailiff in, and that was it.
Wow.
And then we all went to the pub.
Yeah. The one thing that I'm thinking right now that is Alex Murdaugh is going to try to get this whole thing appealed over and overturned immediately.
Oh,
he's going to bring it.
Oh, of
It's
course.
going to go to the South Carolina State Appeals Court first. I'm sure they've already got their appeal ready.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard it in their arguments. How about you, Kim? Have you heard it already? Like, I like to pay attention to this, and I'll be talking to Granny tomorrow about it and a few others that are legally minded, all during their arguments with the defense against the prosecution's product. I have heard in their appeal argument already going forward is much, and
Yeah, I'm getting an echo.
are you? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing.
Do you have your
That
headphones on?
I
If you
do.
okay, I don't know.
I've got headphones on as well.
Do you have a mic on your headphones or just headphones?
Yeah, I've got a mic on my headphones.
Just make sure your other mic on your phone is that you're definitely using the headphone mic.
No, I'm on the laptop.
Okay, so just make sure you're
And
definitely only using the headphone one. When I had the laptop, often the laptop mic would pick up, okay, and it would cause a problem. Okay, so sometimes that
right.
happens. I'm not hearing the echo here. Do you guys hear it out in the chat? I don't hear it here through StreamYard
Okay.
itself into my headphones. I don't.
I'm
You're
just
sounding fine. Yeah.
I was just hearing it on my end just a little bit.
Okay.
I don't hear it now.
If you don't have,
Um,
it might be if you have anything open, you might have to mute your YouTube chat or something else.
I closed YouTube.
Mhm.
So
Thank you, Ricker. Yes. Well, I've been hearing their arguments all along as appeal, like setting up for appeal, a lot of it. And I don't think, and I actually think they have some things to complain about. I actually do. Legally, about protections of rights and things like that, things that were prejudicial. And I think 404B is definitely going to be where they go. What do you think, Kim?
I definitely think so.
Mm-hmm. It's
I
funny
definitely
because
do.
I always say I'm not a lawyer, and the first thing I want to do is talk the legal stuff. Like, I need somebody to talk to because
Mhm.
I seriously think that's a big issue. I think the judge played it as close to the vest as he could about it, and he did the best you can do with 404B as far as probative versus prejudicial. But when anytime that comes in, it's almost a guaranteed appeal up to the Supreme Court and let them decide. It's almost
Oh,
guaranteed, and I think that is just
yeah.
about why he did it the way he did it. He heard all the evidence first. He made sure he actually did the objections on top of the defense instead of them having to say it. He would say it himself if he thought it was warranted on certain things if they were going too far.
Right.
So Wrecker, are you sitting? Have you not started to drive yet? He's like this comment. Look, like I'm looking at this comment, and I'm just sitting here stunned. Wrecker, I'm so sorry that it came in so fast and you couldn't be up here either. And where is Beck?
I
I'm like
know.
trying to get a hold of Beck. I didn't want to go live without him. You guys know you need to stick up for me when Beck comes in. Hella. Why didn't you tell me? I'm like trying to get a hold of him, okay? And I posted in the Discord. I posted all kinds
You've
of stuff.
posted
I don't know.
everywhere.
I tried. But yeah, we'll see. But anyway, we'll be live tomorrow at 9:30. I know, where is Beck, Sandra? That's what I'm saying. Like
I
I
know.
tried. But everybody's got a life. Beck too.
Yeah.
And it's only because I was watching the feeds and I was actually watching Fitz News when the woman just busted in and said it like really fast. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Are
I
you
had
kidding me?
just gotten off of Twitter, was going on to Fitz News, and I get an alert on my phone.
Yeah.
And then
Tony.
I get something from you saying, call me.
Yep. Yes, because I was like, what do you think? Do you think it's like, do you think it's not? Do
I
you
know.
think it's, I don't know. But on that, I think I'm only going to talk a couple more minutes. I'm going to let Kim say what she needs to say because when it comes, all right, here, I'm going to, you can, like, you're good at you're an avatar, so nobody will see you turn red because, like, here it goes. When it comes to this case in South Carolina, over the last year or so since I've been covering it, I go to Kim about, like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Like, you know the area, you know the culture. What do you think? Who should I call? Who do I believe? This guy or that guy? Like, they both look kind of good, but one of them looks kind of shady, and on and on and on. And Kim would always advise me because Kim has, like, and I kid you not, file after file after file on this case. Okay.
How many binders did I tell you earlier?
Yeah. Well, I didn't know if you wanted to embarrass yourself with that bit of OCD thing that she does. Not only does she have it all in her head, she has it on tons of pieces of paper also.
And I have 2 hard drives. I have my original hard drive and a backup external hard drive. So 2 externals and 2 USB drives with all of the information on them. I will not lose anything. And 4 4-inch binders that are completely filled.
It's been really, really something. She'll
Yeah.
have you fixed your mic? There's something you wanted to say before we start wrapping up here.
Yeah, did you hear? Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
can hear you.
Okay, I had to delete that app, and then I just tried with Discord to see if it was on.
Mm-hmm.
I am. Oh, jeez. Sorry about that. My daughter. I put notifications off, but she's on my emergency list. Okay, so I was extremely nervous, and I'm still really nervous, and I don't get why, because it's just the trial of some people that I don't know, but at the same time,
I think it's the actual surge of energy. I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't actually call it nervous, except for like that the same hormones that get us into anxiety and can also get us excited and thrilled. It's like a roller
Exactly.
coaster ride. And if you've been watching this trial or even listening to what we've been talking about in chat, then of course you get vested. We've all been here with each other every day, and it's like a we're now like a parasocial little club here. We don't really know each other, but we all have one thing in common that we've been doing day in and day out for 6 weeks. Okay. That kind of makes you like committed to it. It makes you kind of bonded to it, and it
It
makes you
does.
reactionary. It makes you reactionary by default to anything that's going on with the trial. So I wouldn't worry about it, Shill. I would say hopefully you can go to sleep tonight after the excitement. Hopefully you can talk to somebody about it or for a while, which I plan to do. I'm gonna try in my Discord, the fantastic High Inquisitor is in there getting ready to do games, and I don't want to disappoint him by canceling them, so I'm not going to. I'm
That will
gonna
help you.
actually I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna like laugh with friends and talk. And anybody who is a member that's in there, games are tonight. Come on over, hang out. The voice chat is always open for everybody. We can fit like 50 people in a voice chat. Yeah,
Right.
My Discord's actually not a little thing anymore. It's
No,
actually
it's not.
small. Those people have been contributing to it, and it
I
grew.
remember when it was small.
Hmm. Yeah, but what we do in there is we all have fun. We all do. We're all adults in there. You can have different opinions. You can talk about stuff, but it's all light and
We
on our.
do.
But it is NSFW. I do much warn you. They are all adults, and they get
We
into
are
some stuff.
respectful, though, to each other.
Yeah. And Recker wants me to remind everybody how you get into the Discord. You get into the Discord by being a creative collaborator of mine. You want to do a stream? Listen, if there's one thing that this channel is, it's eclectic. If you can't find something to hang on to here, I don't know. Because on the weekend, we let our hand down and we all just throw it to the wall to see what sticks. Is that not true, people that hang out on what the
We
effery
do.
or
We do.
mayhem? Okay. Like, so, and we talk about A to Z, soup to nuts, you name it. It's all adult humor, adult topics, and adult language. I must warn you. And if your feelings are going to get hurt about an issue, don't show up because there's no crying in mayhem. There's no crying in what the effery. Everybody gets to say. Not always the most politically correct streams out there. We
That's
don't try
true.
to insult anybody, but it's what it is. Okay, it's very free. But I also do literary stuff. Like I do reads, I do poems, I do
You do
books, I
beautiful
do
readings.
I love to read out louds, all of that stuff. I love the legal stuff. I really do. I absolutely do. But I also love good conversations. In most of my channel, that's what you're going to find everywhere, especially in the Am I the Assholes with a little bit of humor. We go over the
Those
Reddit
are
and
always
we talk.
fun.
Right. And then my library chats with Bearded Heretic or Teach
Yes.
Shelton or Dr.
Oh,
Silkman or even the one I did with when we did Johnny Depp. One of my favorites, and I'm going to embarrass some people who don't like to get talked about a lot here, but one of my favorite streams that I did when I was doing the Johnny Depp really didn't have much to do with Johnny Depp except for the actual male perception of this kind of stuff. And it's the one
right.
I did with Charlie and Aaron, Charlie
That was
Welsh
so
and
good.
Aaron Reese, both my mods now, who I met while doing uh, Johnny Depp with Ranty.
Yeah,
And
that one
also,
was so good.
well, actually, I met them through like the Shields because Dick had been hitting me up to do pub chat, and they were also shills. So I actually met them over there, but they were also over there with Ranty at the time. And it was a great conversation because they had me thinking about things in a different way, and both of them came from a different perspective. One's married, one's not. We were looking at the case of how Depp was being slandered, and what that, and how like society just automatically just goes one way on you. And at the time, I was speaking a lot about men too, because of my brother and because of my friends who have been greatly damaged by the legal system in regards to not having equality when it comes to parentage and divorce in these kinds of things, and especially when it comes to someone being guilty as soon as they're accused of something, as far as everything just being put out there like that. I don't like that part of our legal system. Some things have to be changed on that, but that was one of the best. The best conversations, and that's the kind of stuff you're going to find here. So when I say subscribe or be a member, you can either join me collaboratively and have one of those kinds of conversations if there's something you want to talk about. That's a way to get into the Discord. You can get into the Discord by being a paid member of the channel. They're pretty reasonable. One of the perks is getting the shout outs on Twitter and everywhere that I tag your names to all of my stuff. You get some member benefits, that and the Discord in the games, okay, or a Patreon member where you get the same thing. Also, my mods are all in there, and it's a big group of nice people that get along. Murder Minions, we have a room there just to talk about true crime. We have a room there to tag memes. We have music, all kinds of stuff. But that's enough talking about me.
Claire.
Mm-hmm.
You did forget one thing that you cover on your channel.
Well, because I'm too excited because it's coming too soon. And if I talk about it, I'm going to want to do it again and again and again. And I know why Kim's mentioning it because she's right there with me. And that is Black Mirror.
Black Mirror, Charlie Brooker.
I'm probably the only one on YouTube that has every single episode there documented, and not just documented once. I actually redid some of them.
Some of them we redid.
We did some of them twice, and I gotta say, because I am a Charlie Brooker, I'm not just a fan. I am a fanatic for that.
Me too.
Sorry, boo boo, but yeah, there's a fantasy man in my life.
Yes.
His name is Charlie Brooker.
Claire and I kind of battle over Brooker.
And he's old and he's not even good looking, but he's so smart and he's funny.
Oh my gosh, that mind.
Out there, and that mind, the way he makes me think, I can't help it.
I know.
Yeah, if there's any man on the planet that could steal me from, it's him.
Oh, I get chills thinking about him.
He wouldn't want me. He has an excellent partner.
I know. He wouldn't want me either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I guess it's okay. Like nobody needs to be jealous or anything because it's never going to happen. But still,
I know.
The way he makes me think. So it wasn't that I forgot about it. It was I was afraid to talk about it because I make a damn idiot of myself every time I talk about it. But the exciting news is that Black Mirror is coming back. But that's enough about the channel. What I want to do is I want to go play games. I want to see everybody tomorrow.
Go play games.
If you all will join me. And thank you all for showing up on last minute. And thank you, YouTube. Notifications apparently work because everybody flew here. So thank you, YouTube, for actually getting it right on an emergency stream.
And Claire, I would like to take a moment to thank you for doing this.
Oh, thank you.
You know how invested I've been in this.
Mm-hmm.
And it really has meant a lot to me.
Oh,
so thank you.
Well, thank you. I'm glad that it gave you a place to talk about it and to actually see it come to a conclusion. I knew a lot of people wanted to talk about it, and sometimes the other streams are really, really fast. A lot of people watch both my stream to chat plus watch the legal stream or something else, and I'm perfectly cool with that. They wanted a place to associate and talk about their opinions and things and have it be real casual, just like a fan. Like, just like a true crime fan, a fascinating case, something to pick out. And I don't claim to be an expert in anything. I just like this as a hobby. Like I tell everybody, maybe I take it a little seriously.
That's the way I am with it.
And stuff, but
yeah, that's the way I am. And, I'm going to supply Claire with many more things for her true crime series.
Yes, I'm open, people. But although things are hot because I've got Vallow update, a Kohlberger update, and a
I
Manson
know.
update that are late. They're actually a day
They're
late.
late. I know.
Manson's like late. Like, so I'm gonna be late. Monday, you're gonna see me for true crime. I guarantee 3 times Monday.
Mhm.
Not Monday the day, but Monday through Friday. I'm gonna pick
Right.
3 days. We're having 3 true crimes because we need to get caught up.
We've got to get caught up
Yes, we have to get caught up. So
that I can drop more things on you.
Okay.
Because I've got right now a list of about 18 that I'm working on.
Okay, wait. Pete and Rhonda just came in. Pete, I want to just tell you that the jury came back immediately and brought the family and Alex there, and he's guilty on all 4 counts unanimously. They polled the jury. Each one said he is guilty. He's guilty of the murder of Maggie Murdaugh. He's guilty of the murder of Paul Murdaugh. He's guilty of the weapon possession to the murder of Maggie Murdaugh. And he's guilty of the weapon possession in the murder of Paul Murdaugh. All 4 charges.
All 4.
Guilty. Both the state and the defense said they would be ready for sentencing at 9:30 tomorrow morning. We will have a stream starting regular time at 9:15. So I hope to see you all back here then. I do want to get over there and not keep Quizlet waiting too much longer. But gosh, I'm so glad you all showed up for this emergency stream like this. Seriously, I didn't get to eat. I didn't get to do anything but put a poll up for you people. What do you want to do tomorrow? And you know what? The jury wasn't having it. They don't care what we want to do tomorrow. They were out of there.
They don't even care that my dog hasn't eaten. My dog's over here like, Mom, I'm hungry.
Take care of Steffi and do what you got to do. And all of you in chat, thank you so much for actually keeping me going, keeping me entertained, keeping my brain ticking with all your ideas and your comments and the different ways of thinking. This what makes it more enjoyable and makes those long hours why I would do it is for all the stuff that you guys bring too. Mm-hmm.
I have one more thing to say before you go.
Okay.
I'm gonna beat you in duo.
Oh damn it! You know what? I get to kick you for that. Okay, get out and go to duo and go tell them I'm coming. There they go. Bye.
Right.
Go tell them I'm coming. Okay, then on that, and I'm only doing that because we're ending anyway, and just like be cute because I love Shill and I love you guys too. I love all my mods. You guys are. When I say they no offense to the rest of the moderators out there in the world, but I have the best damn moderators ever because they know me, they support me, they are hella fun, hella serious when they need to be, and hella not when they don't have to be. And they keep that chat going, considerate to all opinions. They get rid of the freaking bullshit if they have to, and they do it respectfully. But the reason I've got the coolest chat out here, and yeah, I'm bragging, I got one of the coolest chats out here because nobody gets harassed. No matter what. No matter what they say. Even the assholes who come in here and try to harass don't get harassed.
No.
And that is because I have the best damn mods.
In fact, we've even converted some of them.
Mm-hmm. They do. They came back. Back. Yes.
And they were nice.
Yes, because they're open and they listen to me and they wield that wrench like considerate adults, like I wish the rest of YouTube would. Right. And that means a lot to me because I have a long history as a mod before I started my channel. A long history. And I took it seriously because I represented the creator. And so when I say you guys rock, it's because of how you make me feel so taken care of that I can do what I got to do up here and not worry about it out there. So thank you. Thank each and every one of you. And to everybody in the chat talking. And Kim, I will see you tomorrow morning. I know you have to work, but
I will see you tomorrow morning, Claire.
I will see you tomorrow morning. And on that, everybody, I seriously am clicking the button this time. No, I definitely am. Enjoy this outstanding outro from Mocking Media, who also is one of my mods and one of the best damn intro outros.
So incredibly talented.
So incredibly talented. And I am proud to have him all the hell over my channel. wherever I
Yes.
can. So there you go. Enjoy. I'll see you all in the morning. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you. Bye.